Hi boys and girls. Today in reading we're still going to be talking about nonfiction text structures. So nonfiction books are teaching books, books that give you information, and when I say text structure, I mean how is the book built? How is it put together? Okay, so in some of these nonfiction books, the first one we learned about was a descriptive type of nonfiction, and that's where they just give you lots of information, right? They just tell you and tell you and tell you and tell you facts and details, and they just describe it, right? And that was that brain book that we listened to the other day. And then yesterday I talked to you about a question and answer book, and that's one where the author will come right out and talk to you, the reader, and ask you a question and make you kind of start thinking, and then they'll go ahead and answer that question. In one of the books, it was like a riddle, and they kept giving you clues and clues and clues, and they only asked one question through the whole book, and then they gave you the answer. In the other one, it was kind of fun, kind of like a guessing game, where they'd give you a question that was kind of silly that we mostly know the answer to, and then they'd tell us the correct answer, you know. And so that was that book. Today we're going to talk about comparison books. So a comparison is when you have two separate things and you talk about how they are alike and how they are different. And so I drew two circles because two circles is when they intersect or they overlap, that's called a Venn diagram. And that is something that we use a lot when we compare, because we've got two separate circles, two separate things. And in this circle, this is how this thing is different than this thing. And over here, this is how this thing is different than this thing. And in the middle where they overlap, that's how they are the same. So that's comparing how they are different and how they are the same. So a lot of nonfiction text is organized this way. I found so many examples. Let's talk. So this book talks about whales and dolphins. So they picked two animals that are very similar, and they are going to be comparing them to help you kind of know the difference, all right? So here they're talking about dolphins, right? Because it's whales and dolphins, right? So here they're talking about whales, actually a little bit of both, okay? And comparing them to sea lions also. Talking about whales mostly here. Talking about tails, okay? This is whales' tails. These are about dolphins, so they're kind of going back and forth. This one's about teeth. Whales' teeth, dolphins' teeth. It kind of describes different types. Filter feeders, so this looks like a whale thing. Whales eat because they're filter feeders. Family life, so this would be, looks like whales, some like to be together. Looks like they all kind of like to be together. They make protective parents, so this is how they're the same. So it looks like on each page in this book, they're talking about a different quality, like mammals, and then talking about whales and dolphins. Are they both mammals? Yes. And then here, breathing, and they're comparing how whales and dolphins breathe. Here's how they swim, whales and dolphins. Here's their tails, how they're the same, how they're different. Here's how they dance. Do they both dance? Talking about their teeth. So comparing, right? Two different animals. Look at this one. Tornado or dust devil. So this is a type of weather, trying to help you understand the difference between the two. Okay? So here it's going right out and telling you what a dust devil is and what a tornado is. Here it's saying a tornado is a column of air. The air spins. A tornado is violent. Here, a dust devil is also a column of air. It spins too, but a dust devil is not violent. So this one's not as dangerous. So I already learned a difference right there. Sky or ground. A tornado forms in the sky. A dust devil rises up from the earth. This one comes down. This one goes up. See how they're different? So each page they're kind of talking about how they're the same or how they're different. This is how they're formed. Okay? That one's about that. Look at this one. Oh, this one's interesting. This is a predator versus prey. So you're going to see a lot of versus books. These are kind of comparison books. Like we have a lot of books at home, like Velociraptor versus T-Rex. So those are comparison books also, because they're talking about like who would win in a battle. And sometimes they put animals together that wouldn't normally be together in nature. Like we just read one the other day. It was like a honey badger versus a king cobra. And my boys love those because they feel like it's like a battle that the animals are in. And so they compare the different qualities of the animal. I wish I had one of those here, but we have those at home. And they'll tell, you know, its agility. Is it dangerous? Is it fast? It's kind of like comparing Pokemon, which is why I think my boys like it, because they'll compare their strengths, their weaknesses. Are they fast? What are their teeth like? Do they have claws? And then they'll kind of ask the question, who would win? So the whole book, they're comparing the two animals. In the end, they're telling who's winning. That's kind of like this one because this is owl versus mouse, but I don't like that example as well. Here's another one, kind of like the dust devil and tornado, frog or toad, comparing these two. And another one, crocodile or alligator. So notice in all of these, they're picking things that are really close to each other. These two look so much alike. Same with these. Same with these. Same with these. And the author is deciding to teach you by comparing and showing how they're the same and how they're different. So I'm going to be giving you a nonfiction text to listen to, and you're going to be telling me what they are comparing. And then I'd love it if you would fill in the Venn diagram. So you will say, like for example, if I was talking about the tornadoes and the dust devils, I would put tornadoes on this side, and I'll start the Venn diagram for you on Seesaw. I'd put tornado on this side and dust devil on this side. Okay? And then here I would talk about things that the tornado does that the dust devil does not. And I already learned that a tornado starts from the sky, so I'd put that here. Starts from the sky. And the dust devil starts from the ground. That's how they're different. Okay, and one way they're the same, that was the very beginning. They are both a column of air, because here it says a tornado is a column of air, and here it says a dust devil is a column of air. Column of air. And that's all you're going to need to do. I put one way they're different. So one thing the tornado has that the dust devil doesn't, one thing the dust devil has that the tornado doesn't, and one thing that they both have. Now you're not going to be reading about tornadoes and dust devils, but I'll find something for you to read where you compare two animals. All right?